for the evening. Yeah. Man, you guys are having fun, aren't you? Make some noise for all the comedians you've seen tonight. They've been amazing. All right. Man, how can you not be in a good mood today? It's fucking 60 degrees out. You guys still got snow out and it's 60 degrees. You guys feeling good? Man, I felt good today. I was just like, damn, I went to Minnehaha. What is that one? Minnehaha. Titicaca. What is it? I went there were waterfalls, but they were frozen. What? What? But I also wore a bathing suit. I don't understand. It was awesome. Man, Minnesota, you guys are not only stereotypically nice, but you're also specifically very nice in your own each and individual ways. So who's ready to fuck? It was weird. Last night we went out and we stayed out a little too late, and I couldn't fall asleep. And so everyone went to bed, and I went over to the river, and I watched the sunrise. And it was nice, it was nice to like get in touch with nature for a second. And I watched the moon go down and the sun come up, and I watched that transition, and it was just beautiful. And to see that transfer of energy, to see that darkness go to light, it was just like, damn, I gotta quit liking bitches' pictures on Instagram so much, you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like you just like, I'm just saying, it's just like, you gotta take a second, just appreciate life, and just seeing that metamorphosis it was beautiful. And then afterwards I went to McDonald's. And I watched the breakfast menu turn into the lunch menu. And it was equally beautiful and magnificent and inspiring. Have you ever seen a McGriddle slowly transition into a spicy fish fillet? That is fucking gross and a lot of different meats I don't want, but it is beautiful. I finally did go to bed, and then when I woke up, I heard the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life before. Like, that's just like, honestly, the first thing. I'm just having such a great day. You guys are so kind here. Honestly, you guys really are. You guys are so fucking nice. I swear to God. We live in Chicago. Everyone's a fucking asshole. I swear to God. Have you ever been in traffic in Chicago? You're like driving around and like someone will literally they will just shoot you. They will just get a gun and they will shoot you. Merritt's fine. She's very safe there. Don't worry about that. She always gets an Uber. Oh wait, not an Uber. That's bad too. Oh man, God, it's just the first thing I heard this morning was so beautiful, and I want to share it with you guys, and then I'll talk about my dick like everyone else. But I just want to get us on like this optimistic, positive energy before the talk about this. I'm gonna fuck up the wording on this. How did it go? The first thing I heard this morning, oh God, it was so beautiful. How did it go? It was something like oh, it was my alarm clock. Snoozed it. Don't worry, we're all good. Man, you guys got a Mall of America. You got the whole America in your mall. That's nice. And then my favorite store there is Victoria's Secret. I don't know what. Shocker. I can teach you what else that word means later. Two in the coop, one in the coop. Never mind. I will tell you later, I promise. Man, what was that? Oh, Victoria's Secret. That's right. That was shocking. That took me a second. So I'm in Victoria's Secret. And I don't know if you guys, okay, so I grew up in a trailer park, not unlike the one next door. And I'm serious, it was very similar to that. And in the trailer park, I was a pretty good looking guy, solid 9. Just across the board, trailer park 9, that's what I am, In real world, solid 7. That's cool and fine, I got a lot of personality, that's great. Moved to Chicago, people are throwing me dollars on the floor, it's cool, no big deal. But being a real life 7, I think that's a Minnesota 6.7, because you guys are above average, you guys are very handsome and beautiful.
Yeah.
Anywho, being around that 7 range is what they call approachable. Moderately attractive, if you will. And I don't know what it is about that range, but girls will flirt with me in very weird situations. Not normal situations, but weird ones. And I was in Victoria's Secret today at the mall, and this girl that worked there, she had the greatest pickup line. She's came up to me and she tapped me on the shoulder, and she was like, hey, get the fuck out of here, you pervert! And I was all like, okay. I'm really sorry. God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh man, I'm sorry for a lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we showed up late. That was my fault. Oh God, I had to burn some serious rubber to get here on time. We were booking it. God. And man, my girlfriend was like, oh no, not the condoms! But we made it, no big deal. Prophylactics intact. Okay, I'm an idiot. Yes, true, fact. But I do actually have a girlfriend. We've been living together for about a year now, and it's very nice. It's very cool. She's a nurse. You guys ever heard of that profession before? Do they have nurses in Minnesota? I'm just kidding. She's great because she's caring and empathetic and just like very kind across the board. And like living with a nurse has been like almost all positive across the board. I guess there's only one thing that I would say that's negative about dating a nurse, and that's every day when she comes home from work. I know that, like on average, she's seen approximately 3 dicks bigger than mine that day. Just approximately, that is her job. It's in her job description, and every day when she comes home, I smell that dick, and I'm like, God damn it, it was big, wasn't it? God, I'm a young man. That's hard. Man, my ego. It's tough. It's really hard for my ego. Especially since she's a pediatric nurse. I don't know what these kids are eating in their McNuggets, but their dicks are large! GMOs. And yeah, oh man, my girlfriend's actually very cool, cute, awesome chick, and we get propositioned for like threesomes or like orgies or like weird group like swinging stuff, and it's like always strange when we're drinking out with people and like that happens, and I personally get very uncomfortable. I'm like kind of a shy guy, to be completely honest, like not up here, but like when I'm sex is hard. But it's strange when like we get like propositioned for that stuff, because I'm just not into it. Like some people are into it, I'm just not into like the swinging thing. I don't think I could ever, like, especially with a friend, I don't think I could ever be like in an orgy with like someone I know, because good friends are so hard to come by. C-U-M, yay! Cheers. Anyway. Oh man, I peed on my Ouija board and it said I was pregnant. What? Okay, you guys didn't even hear it. I'm just glad I don't have to date anymore. Like I'm glad that I don't, like, now that I have like a solid girlfriend, I don't have to go on dates, because that sucks. I remember this one time I heard the most mystical thing. I had this girl tell me that she liked to date guys that were uglier than her, because then she knows that they won't cheat. I was like, damn, Mom, that's fucking cool. I'm just fucking kidding. My dad's super hot. Maybe you guys will appreciate it. I do a really good impression of my dad. I know you don't know him, but do you guys want to? I'll do it. Okay, it'll be very quick. This is my impression of my dad. It goes something like, Brad, you're wasting your life! But that's very accurate, actually. We look alike, so it's cheating. We've talked about religion. I'm not going to dive into my thoughts and opinions, because my thoughts and opinions were numbed out by marijuana years ago. My dad is a pastor of a church. Honestly, and we have a good relationship. We're kind of buddy-buddy, and we're working on it, but obviously we don't see eye to eye on everything. But at the end of the day, we're both talking into a microphone and making shit up. But but for real, I've been especially in I'm 26, right? And I gotta be honest, my high school years, those years were tough. We did not really get along at all. But I've been working really hard in my 20s to build a relationship with my dad. And he's kind of opened up to me a little bit, and he kind of let me into his personal life and some problems that I never knew were there before. And it was at my brother's birthday party a couple months ago, and he was really, you could tell he was low energy and not as happy, right? And I said, what's wrong? What's going on? And he said, well, there's just, there was some fighting going on in this church, right? They were thinking about splitting the church, because one group wanted one thing, one group wanted another thing. He was kind of in the middle, didn't have a strong opinion, right? He just wanted to unite. He was sad, I could tell, and I tried to use that as an opportunity, you know, to like reach out to him, and I tried to give him some advice. So I said, Dad, a wise man once told me, don't argue with fools. And I thought it was pretty good, right? Not bad. And he was obviously very moved. His eyes started to water and his lips started to tremble. He got very, he looked at me like, you're so proud. And he said, son, you know who said that, right? That was Solomon from the Bible. And I was like, holy fucking Christ, I thought those were Jay-Z lyrics. Hova! The Rock is still alive every time I rhyme. Oh man, I stepped on an ant colony today and I realized it was their Pearl Harbor. I hope I stepped on Aunt Josh Hartnett, not Aunt Ben Affleck. Because then you don't have Aunt Fargo. Anyway. Thing. Do you guys? Well, we talked about this. It is 420 weekend. We do have a few weed smokers out there, right? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Here's the point. America approaches marijuana differently than everywhere else because it politically divides us unnecessarily, right? There's a lot of things we can be fighting about, and something like that, you know, shouldn't be it. And I think it's interesting because other countries aren't that way. That's not an issue that politically divides us. But, like, for example, right? Like, some people would say smoking marijuana is bad. But I would say smoking marijuana is good. High five. To the side if you're feeling it. Down low for my hose. To the side if you're by. Curious anywhom. Oh, he is, okay.
He is!
So, you know what? Some of the best hitters hit from both sides of the plate. That's a fact. Absolutely. Sometimes you gotta be closer to third, sometimes you gotta be closer to first. Man, I smoke weed and play video games. We talked about video games a little bit earlier. Do we have any actual like gamers in here at all? People that play? No. Okay, well, fuck this joke. It does not matter because it's really not even that good. So how was the Rascal Flatts concert earlier? Good? I'm just kidding. I'm a big fan. Here's my impression of Ray Romano doing an impression of a cow. No! I like to smoke weed and think of ideas. Being a comic is fine. It's fun. Like, this is great. This is the best part of doing comedy is being here right now. But there's a lot of stuff that goes around that, you know? There's a lot of car travel. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of emailing. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of tired shit. It's hard, right? And so you can't just do this. You know, to make it in the industry, you have to find another way in. And I like to smoke and think of crazy ideas. I think I have an idea for a screenplay. I kind of just want to share it with you guys. You tell me what you think, right? So, one of my favorite movies, and I'll tell you who one of my favorite actors is. It's Channing Tatum. He's very sexy. He's a very, very sexy. This guy's like, fuck yeah, he's a very sexy man. He is. I cannot even fault this man for saying that. Channing Tatum is a sexy man. He's a man's man. There's nothing he can chop down a tree like that. He's sexy. Channing Tatum is sexy. I bet you look just like him. I bet you did. I love it. And one of my favorite movies is Magic Mike. That's the one with all the sexy-ass male strippers, right? Okay. And Hollywood's all about crossover, right? So that's a top 10 movie for me, for sure.
Oh my god.
Shut up, Merritt!
Bad taste.
Well, there goes the clip. One of my other favorite movies is Like Mike, which is it's a movie about an orphan who finds a pair of Air Jordans on a telephone wire, puts them on, and becomes as good at basketball as Michael Jordan, right? So I was like, I got an idea. Let's put them together. Like Magic Mike. Right? You can't picture it? Okay, first scene. Little orphan boy out on the playground. He's cold, he's tired, he's sad, and he's hungry. And then he looks up at the telephone pole, and on the wire, he sees a G-string. So he walks over to the telephone pole, and he scales that shit like he's Mowgli going up a coconut tree. Just like that. And he reaches up and he grabs the G-string and he slides down. He avoids splinters because he knows what he's doing. Yeah, that sounds bad. We didn't make it happen, don't worry. And he puts them on, and when he puts those little G-strings on, this little 8-year-old orphan boy turns into sexy ass Channing Tatum. He's out on the playground, and he's feeling it. He's feeling it all over his body. And before you know it, he's just out there shaking his tiny little dick and ass. Just shaking that tiny little dick and ass vigorously. And a lady walks by. She's a business lady. You know how I know? Because she has a short haircut and a sensible suit. And she says, I'm an independent bitch, young man. Tell me, would you like to come strip for my strip club? What the fuck else am I doing? Let's go! You know, and he goes there, and he becomes one of the greatest strippers in the tri-state area. Just like that. He's that good. He's in his fucking bones. He's out there shaking and shaking that tiny little dick and ass. He's just doing it. He does it, he makes money, he makes friends, he has a support system. He's there, and it's great. Cut to 6 months later. He's out there doing his normal thing, shaking his tiny little dick and ass. A little bead of sweat falls from his forehead, right onto his G-string, breaking the magic G-string in half, exposing his little 8-year-old orphan wiener. And everybody in the strip club goes to jail. 'Cause that's fucking illegal, you fucking pervs! But these are his friends, this is his family! This is the first time he felt like he had a place in the world. And he has to go back to the orphanage. Sad, hungry, lonely, and butt-ass naked. And on that same electrical pole, he sees a sign, both literal and figurative. And it says, dance competition, grand prize, $25,000. The exact amount of money that it takes to bail all his friends out of jail? But he has to win the competition without the magic G-string. And he does, and he wins. And this movie's gonna win a lot of awards. Don't you worry about that. No Oscars because the script is gonna be shit, but it's gonna win a lot of Latin Grammys because that soundtrack finna be lit. Fire emoji. Me and Shad Moss are working on it together right now. That's Bow Wow. He responds to my tweets because he has nothing else going on. And that's the shit I think about. That's literally, if you see me and I look troubled in the corner, I'm thinking about that. Yeah, Jesus Christ, that is rough. Yeah. Man, whew. Yeah, that was a lot of work. God, you know what else I like to do when I smoke? I like to feel my moral barometer. No, honestly, right? It's different. Hear me out. I'll tell you about the shocker later. I promise. But I promise. But just hear me out on this right now. I'm a millennial. I'm 26. I'm a young man, and I have to deal with this all the time. The phone, the notifications, the messages, and what's the hardest part for me is everyone is a human, right? And we all feel, but we all put our opinions out there so aggressively without even thinking about how it affects everyone else. And that makes me sad, to be honest with you, because it's just so I don't even know how to feel anymore. When something happens, I don't even know personally how I respond to it because I have to wait till I see everyone else and how they feel about it before I can feel. And that's not the way to be. That's fucked up, you know? And I like smoking because I can feel my moral gut in those moments. And I also do some dumb shit when I smoke. I do some dumb shit. I did some real, okay, here's what okay. I wanted to check my moral barometer. So I smoked a big fucking blunt. And I went to youtube.com on the internet. .com /org http suvuti jk. Well, not jk. I can't say just kid. Well, never mind. Anyway, and I went online, and this is what I wanted. I needed to know how I feel. So I typed into the search bar. I typed in Cosby Show full episode.
Oh God.
No, I did. You know, because I'm a comedian, right? And I grew up wanting to do comedy. And Bill Cosby was a big influence on me. And he did a lot of great work. But he was also like an awful human being. And he did a lot of fucked up shit to people, you know? And like, it's hard to know how do you separate the art from the artist. So I wanted to get fucking high and find out. So when I went online, oh, this was so bad. The first thing that pops up when you type in Cosby Show full episode online is an episode where Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable is making a barbecue sauce that makes women sleepy. Swear to God. Season 5, episode 12, The Last Barbecue. That is some real fucking shit. Look it up. And it is so, oh my God. God, it's so bad. And the first scene, he's in the kitchen, right? And he's got this fucking little chef hat hanging off to the side. And he's got this fucking apron on and it says, "Kiss the cook," which number one is not a question, that's a command, okay? And the first line that comes out of his mouth is so incriminating. He's making that face where it looks like he's sucking a lemon, but also holding in a fart. You know, it's like one of these, like, ooh, you know, that one. And the first line, he goes like this: "Whenever Claire has the barbecue sauce, it puts her right to bed." And I'm like, oh no, he's guilty! No! And I started to put it together. This guy was a doctor in the show.
Thank you.
For pregnant women, and he delivered babies. And his thought was like, where should the office be? I know, the basement of my house. No windows, perfect! The shit, I just look back, the receipts are there. And it's hard, because, man, all my fucking heroes are dead. One way or another, for real or symbolically, or, you know, it's just, that's how it works. That's how you know your childhood is ending. Your heroes aren't your heroes. Heroes aren't people like that, you know? And it's hard. Sometimes your heroes die even when they're not actually passing away. They die for other reasons. Like, for example, someone I really grew up idolizing, and then, you know, the public doesn't really appreciate him in that way anymore, is Adam Sandler. And that's honestly, right?
It's true.
It's true. He did some great shit like 20 years ago. People fucked with him, and now they don't. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's changed. I think everyone else has changed. Because he came in, and he was just full energy, and he went, and everyone was like, yeah, punk rock comedy, I fuck with it! But he's doing the same thing now, he's just older and more tired. Honest to God, that's the exact. He went from, and now it's more like, oh, for the love of God, who gives a shit anymore? Put it on Netflix! Ooh, throw Rob Schneider a bone. Alright. The dog from Air Bud's definitely dead by now. Alright, I'm gonna do a few impressions. I'm gonna roll bounce just like that. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, this is Robert De Niro sucking balloon helium. Yeah. Well, you get it. His voice is different. Anyway. Okay. Oh, this. Oh, this is a Tim Allen seeing his grandma naked. Anyway, plot twist. You liked it. Okay, these are okay. All right. I'll do a few more of these goofy ass ones. This is Lil Wayne if he was a dolphin. I'm a dolphin, bitch. Fun fact, he never learned how to read. He got hooked on chronics. Okay. This is Steve Buscemi bird watching. Steve Buscemi bird watching. It's a bird. Oh, okay. This is Aziz Ansari burning his tongue on a pizza roll. Oh my God, it's making fucking hot! All right. Oh, here's a good one. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is art on my voice. Sorry. This is my impression of George W. Bush in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. Good night.
All right, Rickert, everybody, thank you so much for coming out to the show. We hope you had a great time. We appreciate you supporting live comedy. You're all sexy.